if the doctors are back to work. So it's affecting the economy and it's affecting the people.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, Dr. Demina, we are aware that doctors are very, very important in any society, whether developed or developing. Now, and it is also said that any country that abandons its health system has signed a pact with underdevelopment. Can it be said that the federal and state governments are insensitive to the plight of available doctors?
Yeah, based on what is happening now, taking the medical doctors to court, I think it's not fair. It means that they are insensitive to the plight of the medical doctors. I can't see why you have an agreement with people or group of people or workers and you fail to abide by that agreement. Then you want to use force or you want to, if we are not in the military area, even if you are in the military area, professionals are not military. So based on that, who will say that they are insensitive because most of them go abroad for treatment to make sure that they get ready, their families, they take them out there from our economy. So based on that, taking them to court means they're insensitive to the plight of the doctors. They are not asking for much. It is what they agreed on from the beginning. They sign these things before you start working. These are working conditions. Then you sign. Then later you will not feel that. When you ask, let me, please, this is what we agreed on. Pay us our salaries as agreement due. Pay us our allowances as agreement due. Or incentives. You refuse to do that. The best option is after giving warnings, giving some days that if you don't do this, then we will go on strike. Eventually, they will still not do it. The best option is to go on strike. If you like, go and tell them to go to their houses, they will be practicing, and the government will be losing. So that's all I have to say about it, my brother.
Okay, Dr. Wohan, the federal and state governments will always tell us that there is paucity of funds, and that is why they cannot attend to the needs of doctors. Is that a genuine excuse? Is that a valid excuse?
Looking at it from the surface, you will see, everybody will say that may not be a very genuine excuse, especially for a critical sector like the health sector, which all of us know. But what my opinion about this strike is that I think the managers of the federal government administration, they are not doing their work very well. Because especially the labor minister, the way he's going about it is not the way Nigerians are expecting. Because even if the federal government or state governments have financial difficulties, these are the things you should sit on the table and sort out with the doctors. Some of these agreements some of them are as far back as 2009. It's not even in this regime. So it's not for the government, the representative of the government, especially the Minister of Labor and Productivity, to sit down with the doctors and see a way out of this quagmire. For me, taking them to court, industrial court, may not have been the best option. Because what is involved is not just a legal issue, it's a question of emoluments which the doctors are entitled to. And all of us know that even some of the doctors have lost their lives during this COVID, about 19 of them have lost their lives.
It's even more than that.
In fighting the COVID-19 pandemic. So it's something that, even if there are paucity of fund, we can agree that, because Nigeria, like I used to say, is not all that way as many of us are meant to believe. So the administrators, the minister should sit with the doctors, especially the National Association of Resident Doctors, should sit with them and see a way out of this problem so that the doctors can go back. Because they say when 2 elephants fight, it is the grass that suffers. If you go to some of these hospitals now, you see that the patients are going home, many of them are dying, and nobody to take care of them. So the best thing for government to do is to come back to the negotiating table and see that this problem is resolved so that doctors can go back to work.
Okay, Dr. Demena, your colleague here, he raised the issue of Nigeria doesn't have money. Do you agree with him? And also, when you take into account the cost of our democracy, the cost of our government, which is among the highest in the world. In fact, it is said that Nigeria is operating the costliest democracy in the world. Do you agree with him?
Well, there's possibility of fund, in quote, the way I look at it, because parenthesis. One, you see, when you see this House of Rep, senators, even the ministers, what they take home with, then you compare it with somebody suffering, carrying another person's shit, blood, and this. Then you see that when they are there, just paper work, and they're talking with each other, you see that possibility of fund should not come in here. Nigeria has money. We have money more than Rwanda. This one that has just gotten independence 2 days ago. They are doing very well. They are paying their doctors very well. So saying that there's no fund, as we are talking now, there are many drums of oil gold, they are selling in dollars. Even oil is increasing. Instead of increasing for the people that are working for them, they will go ahead and increase their own. It's not fair. I'm not agree with him that we don't have money. We have money. Only that they are mismanaging the money. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, don't you think that the federal government will place emphasis on the health sector if we don't have something like medical tourism? Because when they are sick, they will travel abroad and get attention. Is that why they are not paying attention to the health sector, which is a weak one?
Well, that is about 20% of the reasons. That's what we see. We don't have hospital in Nigeria, but we have, which one should say, clinics. Clinics. No equipment in the hospitals. People like old people, as we have retired from work, we don't have any place to go. You'll be managing yourself, trying to get things. But there are some people who don't have the knowledge to manage themselves. The only option is to die. And then we go abroad to get treatment. To me, it's not fair. And if we continue this way, I think this country will collapse one day.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Demela. At this point, we are going to take a break, and when we come back, the rest of issues of the moment will continue. Today, we are discussing strike, the ongoing strike by National Association of Resident Doctors of Nigeria. Stay tuned. program. This is still Issues of the Moment, and on today's edition of our program, we are discussing strike by Resident Doctors Association of Nigeria. And before we went on that break, Dr. Odemela is saying that paucity of funds is not an excuse for government not to attend to the needs of the workers, because we are operating a very high cost of democracy in Nigeria. And Dr. Wohan, let me come to you. In the course of this very discussion, Dr. Demena, your colleague, talked about government not willing to honor agreements MOU signed with the doctors. It seems that it has become a tradition for government to be in a hurry to honor, to sign an agreement, and also not be in a hurry to honor such agreements. Why is this so?
I think it's a question of political mismanagement. At times, the most realistic thing to do is not to sign an agreement you are not willing to keep. It's all along we have politicized everything. Not just in this administration, but even in previous administration. Like I cited the example of agreements signed in 2009. So you discover that it is very, very wrong to sign an agreement you will not honor. However, I think the situation was worsened, so to say, by the coronavirus that hit the entire world in 2020. And most of government sources of income, like the oil, which Dr. Demlan pointed out, collapsed entirely throughout 2020. For now, you will see that government is borrowing to finance the budget. In fact, this morning, the Minister of Finance said that we're even going to borrow to finance the 2022 budget. What does this show? It shows that most of these agreements actually cannot be kept. They cannot be honored in reality. So that's why my advice is that government should go back to the negotiating table. The doctors should be realistic. Government on this side should be realistic. And like Dr. Demon pointed out, we should also take a holistic look at the type of democracy we are running to bring it in reality with our income. The idea that we are selling oil doesn't mean that we're a very rich country, because the expenditure is more than the income. And when that happens, you see that we are running a deficit budget. So I will go back to my advice and call on doctors to go back to the negotiating table, and the government should approach this negotiation with a human face, taking into consideration the critical sector of the health and the challenge of the pandemic and all other things related to the health sector. It's not only the payment of the doctors' wages, the hospitals themselves, we need to take a look at them. The facilities are available. What is causing the medical tourism abroad is not just that we don't have the manpower. It's because most of our hospitals are just consulting clinics. They don't have the equipment. So if the doctors are given the equipment that they work with, some of these strikes can be averted.
Okay, thank you very much. Don't you think that Nigeria will continue to be a training ground for doctors who will kiss Nigeria goodbye and seek for greener pastures in other lands? Dr. Demela.
You are very, very correct. You see, my daughter is a medical doctor. Unfortunately, I told her to leave this country as fast as possible, because what I've suffered here would be terrible for her. But in another way, she decided to go her own way. Now, my son is also pursuing the same career. All my aim is for them to live here and not to practice this place. I'm telling you honestly. Because the way I see things going, if, like my colleague said here, that the doctors should go and retake, then government should go and retake. That's all right. If the retake will mean reducing what they have promised before, they should start from the head. What I mean, Buhari or the president the senators, the House of Reps should reduce their own pay. This is our country. If we want to reduce, let us start from the first and build down so that we will reach at an equilibrium. Since he said we don't have money, let us go by that way. This country, if we continue to go the way we are going, we are not realistic. Things will not go well. If you see that the House of Reps or senators or the executive when they reduce their own pay, everybody will be happy to reduce his own, knowing that this thing is actually truth. But when you are keeping your own high, even increasing it, you say that you go and think about their own. I think it's a cheat, and then nobody will accept that.
Thank you very much. Now, Dr. Mohan, what do you consider to be the panacea?
Like Dr. Deborah has said, we need to come down to reality. And like I suggested, we need to look at our wages again. We need to crash wages, and that should affect everybody, including those in the political sector. Because leadership should be by example. The moment the people at the helm of affairs are prepared to come down, then everybody will be prepared to make sacrifice. The way we are going, there's no way we can come out of this problem unless people are ready to make sacrifice. Even living abroad, encouraging people to travel abroad will not solve the problem. People need to come down, look at our income, and then live within our means. Let everybody be convinced about this issue that we don't have enough money like we had before. That to go around and we keep increasing minimum wage, keep increasing fuel prices, and all the rest of them. This thing will lead this country to crash. Because at a point, doctors will be on strike, university lecturers will be on strike, teachers will be on strike, everybody will be on strike. That's the collapse of the government. So my sincere advice is that we should come together and tell ourselves the truth. Let us know where the rain started beating us, so that we can say everybody that if it is taking half salary, let everybody take half salary, but let the salary affect every sector. Let that half salary be paid consistently. There's no point in promising to pay somebody 100,000. You owe him for 10 months. Like some of the doctors at Absolute, they are being owed for 19 months. 19 months. So there's no point. If you can realistically say this is what I will pay, people will still take it. But that will be the time you have shown the example by reducing your own pay. Because it is only through that people can know that government is serious. And when you are sincere, everybody will now move on with you. Most of the leaders who succeeded because of their sincerity of purpose. When you are sincere, not saying one thing at the back, you are doing another thing. You are fighting corruption, but at the back, you are most corrupt. People will not believe you again. So my advice is that the doctors and the government should go back. Apart from that, the medical sector, all other sectors, because very soon now, the ASU will go back on strike. Other people, teachers will go back on strike. So we're still going round and round the same problem. When you have a problem, the best thing is to address the problem instead of running away from it, so that everybody will be on the same page and people will be happy about it.
Okay, Dr. Demena, you are a medical doctor, and some Nigerians are of the opinion that doctors are very selfish. They have their private planes. Now they are on strike, they have returned to their private planes. But when you look at the grievances or demands of the doctors, they are not only interested in their welfare, they are saying they don't have a conducive working environment. How do you see it?
Yeah, you see, I retired as a director of veterinary services department. We have common meeting with medical doctors. We move together, human medical doctors. See, having private practice is not a crime, more especially when the pay or salary or wages, as you may call it, are not coming regularly. For you to make yourself happy and to continue to work with something in your pocket, you have to open a clinic. More so, when the number of doctors, even the qualified ones, have traveled abroad, the number of doctors in the hospital are not sufficient. So, if you work until your time expires for the day, you will go home, have a little rest, go to your clinic, and practice to attend to those that you cannot able to attend in the government hospitals. More so, government most of the time refuse to bring equipment and facilities to do this work. If you're opportune to have somebody abroad, or you can buy those things and bring down here, the facilities to attend to people, I think it's the best thing to do. Because continue to base on government, buy this, they will not. When they sign, they will not do it. What do you do? And when you do with the little equipment, many people will be dying. Because now there's what is called lesser surgery now. The government cannot afford to buy that money. But the money is there. That is the bane of contention. The money is there. They prefer to put it into their pocket to enrich themselves. Instead of buying this equipment, what the doctors are talking now is not even their wages and their money or their allowances. It's the working environment, the facilities and the equipment they want to use in the hospital to do effective and efficient operations. But all these things are not available. What do you do? You have to move to a place where you have all those things. And when you do operation, the patient will survive. Instead of when you do operation, this one will die, this one will be moribund, even he cannot revive again. So the best thing is to live here and allow them to continue to serve their money. Even they are taking the money abroad. To reach those people, can you see the type of foolishness? They take this money abroad
and inject into the economy.
And inject into their own economy to continue to improve their own. If you look at it, it's a cost place. People don't think about the future of their people, their relations, their children tomorrow. They think of today. But that money, unfortunately, most of the time, they don't even eat it. The money will be taken by those people that are telling them to continue to suffer your people, suffer them.
Okay, thank you. Now, Dr. Warner, you will agree with me that strike is usually a measure of last resort. Don't you think that this is a strike too many? Don't you think that the doctors would have taken into account the high rate of poverty we have in Nigeria?
Yes, the strike, like you said, the doctors are here not to have any other weapon for which they want to press home their demands. It's not only the doctors, it's cut across all the sectors. But for the medical profession, you know, we have the Hippocratic oath, which says doctors should save life first before asking for remuneration. However, my sincere advice is that I still beg the doctors, let me use the word beg, they should go back to their duty post, and the government on their own side should bring them back to the negotiating table. Government should bring back so that the health sector can bounce back again. The health sector is not just a sector that we should play with. I know this country will have a problem of corruption. Nobody is denying that. And people are taking our money away to foreign banks, foreign countries. Something, if you do it in China, if you take money away from the Chinese economy, they will kill you, kill your wife, and kill your child. To make sure that they stem the corruption, which is part of human nature. Human beings are by nature somehow corrupt. The government should work on that. Individuals themselves too should also work on how corrupt they are. There are cases where people take away things that belong to the government, even in government hospitals, take them away to private. So the blame should not be only on government every time government is done. The people themselves should hate corruption and make sure that they don't aid one another to be corrupt.
Okay, thank you very much. My director is telling me that my time is limited, and with that we have come to the end of today's edition of the program. But he is telling me that I can still continue, so it means that I'm going to take a short break, and when we come back, the rest of issues of the moment will continue. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Issues of the Moment, and we are still discussing strike by National Association of Resident Doctors of Nigeria. I still have in the studio Dr. Eugene Moore and Dr. Orwell Emenike Odemela. Now, Dr. Odemela, as a medical doctor, what do you consider the way forward? How can we overcome this harvest of strikes we are having in Nigeria, particularly in the area of the health sector?
Yes, like my colleague has said, the way to control this is one. When we promise to do something for a certain group of people, try and abide by it. If you fail to do that, the people will feel cheated. They will feel that you are just playing on the intelligence. Meanwhile, you, who is the Minister of Treasury, you don't have intelligence. So when you agree on something, abide by it. Not even in the medical health sector, but in other areas of life. Let your year be year, let your name be name. If not, you will go into trouble. Or you will leave the system in a very big mess. The only way out of it is abide by words. Two, if eventually you know that you cannot fulfill that promise, you go back to that person and say, please come, look at this, look at this, look at this. After we agree on this, we cannot be able to fulfill this because of this. Please, you people should listen with me. Instead of telling them you go to church, you do this, you use for who are you? He said it, they said this, children are medical doctors, that they will go to work. Yes, because they are needed more for them. The children can afford even to fulfill their pay. It's not the same thing with every other person. It's not by force. This is what we, like my colleague said here, you go to the round table and start reporting those areas that you cannot be able to fulfill, or the areas you can be able to do. Even when things improve, you can still fulfill this what you feel you cannot fulfill. But here we hear it. We are all human beings. People will use it and say, well, let us give you from now to 1 year or 2 years. But when you promise that by tomorrow you will start getting a match in your banks, this and this, tomorrow then go back. At the end of the day, nothing will come. The same thing happened with the secondary school teachers in Abia State. The same thing. You won't pay them. You will tell them go back. They go back. Since for the past 6 months now, they've not been paid. So people are taking government for granted, feeling that they are insensitive to their rights or what they have promised, they don't want to do it. They don't want to because the treasury allocation is coming to the states. Government is getting money from this. Most of the time, even the group that we said that it is when they pay them abroad. The money is not coming here. You feel that the money is not here. So it's very unfortunate. I feel this thing can be resolved. If not, you will continue to have incessant strikes.
Okay, thank you. Now, Dr. Wong, I remember in 2015, during the period of electionary, the present APC government promised Nigerians that they will show that hospitals are equipped to discourage medical tourism. Why is it that it has become difficult, if not impossible, to fulfill this promise? It seems rocket science.
Yes, that is what I've been stressing. When you are outside government, you think we have so much money, our problem is how to spend it. The ABC government that reported that when they were not in government, they thought there was so much money to spend, but you discover that that is not the case. I've always said we are not a rich country as we assume. And as an instance where a primary school teacher was telling children who pays on primary 2 that the type of money we have in Nigeria, even though themselves in primary 2 are supposed to get 1 million. And there's no need for them to work. This type of mentality has not been very helpful to us. We need to be realistic. We need to do things our pockets can carry. Some of the cars we buy in this country, some of the hotels we build in this country are not realistic to our income. The economy is not that. How many factories are functioning in Havana, for example? How many places is production going on? The only thing is that we depend on money, oil money, but oil money cannot solve our problem. But to your questions more directly, the health sector, going forward, my advice is, like the doctor said, let both parties come back to the negotiating table. Let them know the items that they can fulfill now and the ones they can fulfill in future, say in 6 months' time, in 1 year's time, so that there could be an agreement on what is realistic. And the moment that agreement is reached, like he pointed out, let it be that both parties keep to their own side. What we have noticed in this country is that you enter the agreement, you go back, he has cited instance of teachers, they will go back to teach, and government will renege. They won't pay them again. So when you tell them to go back the next time, they won't go back again. This is natural.
Okay, thank you. Now, Dr. Demela, don't you think that the federal government and of course some state governments are insincere when you consider that they were given 130 days ultimatum?
Yeah, they are very, very sincere. I've said it before. They are very, very sincere. Why? 130 days is enough.
130.
It's enough to call for negotiation.
Almost 4 months.
It's enough to call for negotiation. Round table discussion on which one we will be able to do and which one we cannot be able to do for these reasons and these reasons. These medical doctors are mature people, have families. So they will reason and say, yes, this is true or this is not true. You are saying medical tourists. I don't call it tourists. Mass movement out of this country for medical doctors. Many people are going to England here, which is taken away free of charge.
Even India.
Even India, they are moving to those places. Nigeria is more economically viable than those countries, but all to no avail, because they are very, very sensitive and is sincere to the plight or what they have agreed on with the medical doctors.
So another thing, maybe, are you not thinking that government officials benefit from this strike? Maybe that is why they allow this 113 days. They allow it so that to end of strike, so that they themselves will also benefit from the strike. So, but I'm thinking like that.
I don't think so. They are not benefiting anything. What they want to do is to solidify the already money they have gotten.
Okay, Doc, thank you very much. And before we draw the curtain on today's edition of the program, Dr. Eugene Wong, I want to ask you this question, and please, I want you to be brief. More than 10 years ago, Nigeria and India were classified as third world countries. But today, India has become a powerhouse in the medical field. What is exactly the problem? I want you to be brief.
Leadership. It's a function of leadership. Indians have a better leadership, and the people have to take their problems in their own hands. That's just it. If we have a good leadership here, and our people are sincere to themselves, it won't take more than 4 years to turn this country around. Just 4 years.
Okay, thank you very much. And with that, we have come to the end of today's edition of Issues of the Government. For the past 45 minutes, we have been taking a look at the strike by National Association of Resident Doctors of Nigeria, and my guests, my discussants are saying that it is the issue of leadership. If we can get it right in the issue of leadership, other things will fall into place. I want to thank Dr. Orwell of Gemina and Dr. Eugene Wong for coming to issues of the moment. God bless you.
Thank you.
I also want to thank students of Living TV Film Academy, and of course my professional colleagues, members of Nigerian Union of Journalists who came all the way from Umaya to observe what we are doing here. Gentlemen, God bless you and thanks for coming. My name is Chimezie Gozet. I want to thank you for watching today's edition of our program.